Hi, today I'm gonna talk about how to read cable knitting chart. I'm not telling you every single row today, just a key point. And this is awesome pattern. And please go to my description box. I put the link so you can go download the free pattern. Again, this is not my pattern, so I'm not gonna write every single pattern in my video. First of all, cast on 3, and you do garter stitch 6 times, which is knit on the right side and wrong side, 6 rows. That's what the pattern says, and this is quite easy, so you can do following the written pattern. And I just want to talk about the garter tab cast. Probably some people don't get it just by reading it, so I am going to tell you. And again, I'm actually doing the garter stitch, which is knit on the right side and wrong side, and this is only 3 cast on, but you will increase stitch little by little after this. And probably this is the last knit, and after this do not turn the project. You just have to turn clockwise 90-degree like that. Okay, and there is the garter tab on the side, on the edge. You knit there to increase 3 stitch. 1, and next garter tab, 2, and then next. And then you want to increase 3 more. Now 6 on the right needle, and again clockwise 90-degree. That's it. And there's no tab, but you can actually pick some stitch on the edge, 3 other. So ended up you will have the 9 stitch on the right needle. That's how you do it. If you read pattern carefully, you probably figured it out. But this is easier because it's visual. So you know what I'm doing. There we go. This is 9 stitch. And now you turn around, and then the pattern says put the marker in. So knit 3 and put the marker in. And after the marker, purl until last 3 stitch and put second marker in, and then knit 3 to finish this row. What I'm doing right now is I am knitting body parts. That's what it says in the pattern. And once you hit a certain number of the stitch, because I am going to increase more and more every row, you have to stop. Then you will ended up start knitting border. Okay, and I will tell you what it is. Here is setup row number 2. Knit 3 to the next marker, and this is setup row number 2. Again, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1 3 times, and at the end 1 more yarn over. Then slide the marker and knit 3. This is setup row number 2. So setup row number 2, I increase 4 stitch. Every yarn over, which means you increase stitch. And this is setup row number 3. Outside of the marker is always knit, which is garter stitch. And in between the markers, different. Wrong side or purl, and right side all knit, but you have to increase, stitch. So there is some technique on the right side. And this is just a setup row. And next two rows, which is row number 4 and row number 5, you have to repeat until certain stitch number. And you can actually customize this shawl length as well. So you can actually read the pattern. Now let's talk about row number 4. Row number 4, again, outside of the marker is always knit on the right and wrong side. So knit 3, slide the marker, and yarn over. Knit 1, then you make 1 left. And you usually use the running thread, but it's a little bit tough to figure it out which is running thread, but it's easy. When you pull 1 thread like that, it's connect to the next stitch. That's the running thread you use, okay? And then with the left needle, grab the yarn like that and V-shape at the back and use the back loop, knit 1 there. This is make 1 left. There you go. And then knit until 1 last stitch before the marker. Then you make 1 right this time. Again, pick up the running thread which connect to next stitch, okay, and grab the yarn like that, V-shape at front this time. Then use the front loop, knit 1 there. Then knit next 1 stitch, then yarn over. Slide the marker, then knit 3. This is row number 4. Again, you increase 4 stitch. Yarn over both sides and make 1 left and make 1 right. So total of 4 stitch you increase. And row number 5, pretty easy. Knit outside of the marker, and then inside of the marker just purl. That's it. And again, the pattern says repeat row number 4 and row number 5 until the certain number of the stitch total count. And all the detail you can download their the wonderful pattern and then read. And if you want to make a customized, they actually tell you what to do. It's a super easy pattern, so don't worry about it. I'm just telling you the key part. There you go. That's the way it goes. And again, I am showing you one more time of row 4. Knit 3 and slide the marker. And after the sliding the marker, yarn over, don't forget, knit 1, then make 1 left. Pick up the running thread which connect next stitch. There you go. And grab the yarn like that. V-shape at the back. Then use the back loop and knit 1 there. After that, just knit all the way down to 1 stitch left before the marker. And then you do make 1 right using the running thread which connect to next stitch. So you gotta be very careful. Just pull and make sure. And there you go, V-shape out front. Then use the front loop, knit 1 there, then knit next one, then don't forget to yarn over before, then slide the marker. Then after the sliding the marker, make sure yarn is go around the back, then knit next one. Otherwise, this yarn will slide into outside of the marker, and then you get confused later on. And then row number 5, same thing. Outside of the marker, knit, inside, purl. So every right side of the row, you increase 4 stitch. Again, this is just a key point for this shawl. So I am not going to finish whatever they say. I'm making just a sample. So after this, I'm jumping to the cable knitting part. So you read carefully and then you knit the body part. Next clip, just assume I finish the body part. Okay, and then now right side, I am going to just knit, no more increasing. And then during the knitting, you just remove the marker. That's what they say. It's really up to you, but you're not going to use the marker anymore. So why don't you remove the marker? There you go. Remove the marker and knit 3. After you finish this row, do not turn the project. You will add cast. And this design complete 38 stitch. So I add 38 cast, just like that. Then after you add 38 new cast, now you turn around. And still you're knitting flat, which is right side and wrong side. So be aware of it. Okay, so now you finish the adding new cast, turn around. This is wrong side. Not the cable knitting yet. Okay, first of all, on the wrong side, knit 37, which is you add 38 new cast. So 37 means you have one more new cast left. Okay, so just knit 37 stitch straight and then meet you the other side. Here comes end of the new cast. If you're not sure, just count 37. Okay, and then last new cast and the first stitch of the body, you do purl 2 together. You will connect. I'm just making sure, and later on I'm going to add marker, so you don't really have to count every time. There you go. Then purl 2. The last new cast and first stitch of the body. Purl 2 together. Then turn around. Here it comes. And the pattern says slip purlwise with yarn in back. So slip 1 purlwise and yarn was at the back. And then knit until the end. Now let's talk about the chart. Okay, so these are the key component. Let's look at one by one. The first one is just a blank, which means if you're knitting right side, it's knit. If you're knitting wrong side, it's gonna be purl. Because this project is flat, so there's gonna be right side and wrong side. Second one, the blank and little dot. Right side, purl. And if you're knitting wrong side, it's gonna be knit. So kind of, the other way around. Third one, just a slash, knit two together. And fourth, the slash and little dot, purl two together. Next, check mark, which is slip one purlwise with yarn in back, usually at the very edge. And next one, just a round, which is yarn over. Those are the individual stitch. Now let's talk about cable knitting chart. In this pattern, you need 6 different cable knitting methods. And I want you to compare sizes. Individual stitch is 1 stitch, that's the basic, and compared to rest of them. First, for cable chart is 4 times bigger than 1 individual stitch. And last 2 cable chart is 3 times bigger than 1 independent chart, which means top 4 you need 4 stitch to create 1 design, and last 2 you need 3 stitch to create design, cable design I'm talking about. And the number on the right side, 2/2, which means 2 plus 2 is 4 stitch. And last 2 is 2/1, which means 2 plus 1 is 3. You need 3 stitching bulk. So I'm just confirm that, how many stitch you need. Top 4, you need 4 stitch. Last 2, you need 3 stitch. And next, RC, LC, RPC, LPC. C means cable. R means right. L means left. And what do you mean by right and left? And now you have to look at the chart. I want you to look at the longest lines, which is that one and that one. And next one is that one and that one. The inside lines are longer, which means top one is shifting right side, and second one, the longest line, shifting left side. That's why 2/2 LC. What about third one? Shifting right side, right? That's why 2/2 RPC. Fourth one is shifting left side. The fifth one shifting right side, so RPC. And last one shifting left side, that's why LPC. Okay, so 2/2 RPC is 4 stitch creates right shifting cable. And everything else is same way of thinking. Okay? And then how you gonna, make the cable right shift, which is you have to put the cable needle at the back. What about to the left? You have to put the cable needle out front. You actually heard the term C4B and C4F. This is actually same meaning of 2/2 RC and 2/2 LC. If you put the cable needle at the back, automatically the cable shift to the right. And if you put the cable needle out front, automatically cable design shift to left. So that's the reason why some people use 2/2 RC and some people use C4B, C4F, but same meaning. Then what about RPC or LPC? Cable knitting is usually knitting method, but sometimes you need to make a purl to create the cable. So the little dot at the back and front, which means you have to make a purl at certain time. Also, sizes are different. This one 2-stitch purl, and last two only 1-stitch purl. The chart has a lot of meaning. It's not just a mark, a lot of meaning. So once you know this meaning of the chart, even though there's no written pattern, you can figure it out. Oh, okay, the purl at the back or purl at front. So you know how many stitch you have to pick with the cable needle and do this, do that. You can actually tell everything just by looking at the chart. Now let's look at the actual chart. Okay, first of all, the odd number of the row, read from right to left, and it's gonna be on the right side. The odd number, which is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Always read the chart from right to left. An even number like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 has to be wrong side and read from left to right. So let's talk about the row number 1. Row number 1, right to left, the check mark, which means slip purlwise with yarn in the back, right? Then the blank, 2 blank, which is knit, so 2 knit. And blank with dot, that's a purl on the right side. Then C4B, the right shift cable, and then purl 4 and C4B, purl 4, C4B, and purl 4, knit 2, then that's slash, that's knit 2 together, then yarn over and knit 3. And row number 2 is wrong side, so the first 3 looks like a purl, but it's wrong side, so knit 3 to start. And blank on the wrong side is purl, so purl 4. Then next 4 stitch, knit 4, purl 4, knit 4, purl 4. And at the end, that's gonna be purl 2 together. And I want to talk about this purl 2 together. Row number 1, you knit all the way down, 38 stitch. And second row, again, you knit, right? But last 1 stitch and the 1 stitch from the body stitch, you will knit 2 together. Well, I show you again later. And from the row 3, there's bunch of the cable knitting kicks in, and sometimes it's really hard to figure it out when you're knitting. So I usually put the color, so you're not gonna make a mistake. Okay, blue, this, if it's orange and that, stuff like that. It's up to you. You can do best way for yourself. And there's the written pattern as well. So, you can actually follow the written pattern, not the chart. And if there is no written pattern, you can actually write the pattern first. So, first few rows, let's do that together. And please look at your chart in front of you, then knit together. Row number 1, right side. Slip 1 purlwise the yarn at the back and slide the marker. I add the marker. The pattern didn't say anything, but knit 2 and purl 4. After purl 4, C4B or 2/2 RC. Okay? Pick up 2 with cable needle and put at the back, needle cable at the back because right shifting, and knit 2 from left needle, then come back to cable needle and knit 2. This is C4B, 2/2 RC. Then purl 4 and C4B and all that. Just follow the written pattern, easy. And I want to show you end of the row number 1. Purl 4. This is last purl 4 and knit 2. Knit 2 together. After knit 2 together, yarn over and knit 3. This is end of the row number 1. And turn the work. And row number 2, again, you have to read the chart from left to right. And then knit 3 to start. Little dot on wrong side is knit. So knit 3 and purl 4. And after that, knit 4, purl 4, knit 4, purl 4. And I want to show you at the end of the row number 2, the purl 2 together part. Here comes end of row number 2. Last 2 will be purl 2. And after the marker, there's one more stitch left. And then another one stitch from the body. You have to make purl 2 together. There you go. Then turn the work, row number 3, slip 1 purlwise the yarn at the back and knit 2 and purl 3. After purl 3, the cable starts, so you really have to look carefully. The first cable is 2/1 RPC. With cable needle, you pick up 1 stitch. And RPC means put the cable at the back and then knit 2. Knit 2 from left needle, come back to cable needle and purl 1. 2/1 RPC, the purl is at the back, right? So the, purl at the end. So next is 2/2 LPC. So pick up 2 stitch with the cable needle and LPC, so left shift, which means you leave the cable out front. Then purl front, so you have to make 2 purl first and then come back to cable, then knit 2. This is 2/2 LPC. Then next, 2/2 RPC. R means right shift, which means cable at the back. So pick up 2 again, and then put the cable needle at the back, and the purl is at the end. So the knit first, right? Knit first, one more knit, then come back to cable needle, then purl 2. See, 2/2 RPC, the purl dot is at the back, so you have to, make a purl at the end. And then next, 2/2 LPC again, which is pick up 2 LPC, so out front, left shift, and then purl 2 first, because little dot mark is on the front. So purl 2 first and knit 2 from cable needle. And next is same 2/2 RPC. There you go. Just take your time. I'm just making sure. Okay? The 2/2 RPC, which is pick up 2 and then at the back, knit 2 first and then purl 2 from the cable needle. And now 2/1 LPC next. So LPC left, so cable needle should be out front. So pick 2 up and leave the cable needle out front, and then purl 1 because purl is out front. Then knit 2 from the cable needle. This is 2/1 LPC. Then rest, you should be able to understand. Purl 3, knit 2, knit 2 together, yarn over, and knit 3. Very straightforward. And I want to show you one more stitch, which is cable 4 front. Another word, 2/2 LC. (2/2 LC or C4F. Easy. Pick up 2 with cable needle and out front and knit 2 from the left needle. Then knit 2 from cable needle. That's about it. Anyway, this design complete on row number 16, and I just did only once from 1 to 16, and you just have to repeat row number 1 to row number 16 until 3 stitch left on the body side. Body side is right there. Okay, 3 stitch. And then according to the pattern, there is the pattern for those 3 rows. Okay, that's pretty much it. This is very beautiful shawl. Maybe you guys should try it. Okay, bye for now.